Bigfoot, Dogman, Jersey Devil, and others. Are they real? Figments of our imagination? Or the most cleverly disregarded reality of all time? Come into the cabin. Let's sit down and find out together. Hey, welcome back to the cabin. I'm Robbie.
Yep. Johnny's here too.
He's back again. I'm proud of you, Johnny. This has been like 3 or 4 shows in a row that you've known who you are.
Well, when they get your meds right, things flow a little better.
Yeah. You know, that medication stuff, when it's not self-medicated, right?
Well, I mean, that guy does live, out of a single wide around the corner, but he's got good stuff.
Does that classify as self-medication? You're still going to somebody.
Well.
So how you doing tonight, Johnny?
I'm tired of wrangling pigs. Fixing to have a clearance sale on them.
2 for 1?
Ish.
2 pounds of bacon for 1 pig?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work.
So, with the weather being the way it has been, we hadn't had a chance to get back up to our spot here too much, but I kind of wanted to talk about some of the stuff that we got planned for when the weather gets a little bit better. You want to fill our listeners in on some of the stuff we're going to do? You think that sounds like a good plan there, Johnny?
Yeah, definitely. They need to know where to go look for the bodies.
Yeah, exactly. When that thing gets ticked off, that we keep nosing around in there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's rained every weekend for months.
Yeah. But you know what? That area, I don't know that we've been in there, but maybe once or twice that we haven't found at least one small thing, or at least seen something or heard something that we couldn't quite explain. I'm not saying every time we've been in there we've encountered a Bigfoot, but there's been a lot of stuff in there that me and you both just kind of scratched our head and said, I can't explain what that is.
Yeah, it's different. And when you know what you're looking for, it's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like that, saying once your mind's open and once you are like, okay, these things exist, your brain doesn't turn things off anymore. And I think before you accept that these things are real, I think your brain turns off a lot of sights, sounds, clues, and things like that you would see. I think your brain just turns that off until you reprogram it, basically.
Yeah, I think it's like sensory overload, and then once you have that concrete, like the epiphany, it's like, oh, I can't go back to being a normie. Because now I know.
Yeah. I'm
not guessing. I'm not believing. I'm not trusting. It's legit. It's real.
Well, and, I think I've said this many times. I think that's why, like when I had my encounter as a kid, it was a whole lot easier for me to wrap my brain around it, and it not really, obviously it affected me, but it wasn't in like a big negative way. Did it scare me a little bit, and did it take a little while before I would go out in the woods by myself, or at least as far out as I used to go? Yeah, but it wasn't that I was like terrified and gave up going out and playing in the woods as a kid. But a lot of times when, as adults, people have these encounters, you've got lifelong hunters that are like, screw that, I ain't never going to hunt again. And that's bad.
Well, you were like 8 or 9 when yours happened.
Yeah.
I was 13 or 14 when mine happened. So mentally, I was slightly beyond, where you were at 8 or 9. You're watching cartoons. I was out there hunting.
Yeah.
But it didn't put fear in me, but it let me know there's more things out there than Bambi.
Yeah.
And armadillos.
But the point that it's not that, yes, I had that feeling too and that thought, but I was able to deal with it more, and it wasn't like it was I mean, it was still a paradigm shift, but it wasn't so much so that it completely changed the way I went about doing things. Because, you know, we grew up in that age where there was no, I mean, obviously there were video games, but we went outside and played until it was time to come in, until it was dark. It didn't alter that. But you got guys that happens to now who are, like I said, lifelong hunters or fishermen that are just like, that's it. I'm never going deer hunting again. I can't imagine being so scared because of an encounter that I gave up deer hunting. I mean, I guess you could kind of argue that I gave up deer hunting just because I don't have a place to go and I hadn't been in a couple seasons. But it's not because, it's just I don't have a place to go. It's not because I ain't going out in the woods. But to have that happen and say, I'm giving up something that I truly love to do, or fishing or something like that, I'm just glad that it didn't affect me that way.
Yeah, you hear those stories all the time, and people go on guided hunts, spend $10,000-$15,000, and then they never come back again.
Yeah. Well, what's that? The guy that we were talking about that tells those stories.
That's Steve Isdall off of How
to
Hunt.
How to Hunt. He talked about that one where this guy was like a big time repeat customer for him.
Every year, repeat customer.
And they had some kind of encounter up there, and that guy said, "I'm done." So I mean,
and all he did was watch it through a scope. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like it threw stuff at him or growled, or he witnessed something, and he couldn't comprehend it.
You know, DA's talked to people, you know, and doing research for his books and things like that. He's talked to hunters, like this one guy. I'll remember this one forever because he said the guy told him he was in his tree stand, and you know, you're a deer hunter. You've probably done the same thing. Get up in your deer stand and off to sleep you go. I've done it 100 times probably, but
I never understood going out at 4 a.m, freezing your ass off, struggling up a tree. You hauled all this gear in, and then you take a nap and wake up around 8:30. It's full daylight. The squirrels are laughing at you.
Yep, I've done it too. But he said the guy had his lunchbox on the foot stand of his tree stand or his climber or whatever. I don't know if he was in an actual locked-on stand or if he was in a climber or what. But he was in the stand and he had his foot through the loop on his lunch bag, and he said he kind of dozed off, and he felt something tugging it, or you know, felt that leash or that loop moving his foot. And he said he woke up and looked down, and that thing was reaching up, grabbing his lunchbox, trying to get it off, but you know, the loop was around his foot. DA asked him, "So what'd you do?" He said, "I let him have it, and I waited for him to go, and I crawled down there and I ain't been back since."
That'd be awesome.
Well, yeah, I think it would be awesome. He didn't think it was going to be, or he didn't think it was too awesome.
Well, because he wasn't there looking for him.
No, and that's the thing, I guess, because you know, Dad's had people he worked with come back and say that have had encounters. They're like, "You knew these things existed, and you let me go out there in the woods." He's like, "Dude, I told you that I can't help it if you don't believe me." And you go out there and have I guess people just, it's hard for people when they're adults to wrap their head around, and I don't understand why. If you look at it at what it is, if you, like we see it as just an animal, you know, some undiscovered species of North American great ape, I don't understand why people have such a hard time getting their head around that. The Billy ape was not discovered until, 1999?
Yeah.
A 6-foot chimp.
Recent, yeah.
A 6-foot chimp that kills lions in Africa.
Yeah.
Drags women and children out of their villages, kills other chimpanzees, has wars by using tools against other tribes of Billy apes, but Bigfoot's not real. I mean, that's Bigfoot's little cousin.
Yeah. Little. cousin.
Well, I mean, 6 foot, that's little compared to a lot of the Bigfoot. But
Yeah.
I just I don't get why people have such a hard time saying, "Oh, that can't be." You know, and I heard Meldrum talk about this. For this to be a hoax, just on the sheer number of footprints, do you realize how many people would have to be involved with that to keep that going with all the footprints that have been found? The footprints that have been vetted and verified by people like him and Grover Krantz and, you know, all those people that are smarter than us that can look at that morphology of the foot and say, yeah, that's real, or no, that's not. That was done by a prosthetic.
Yep.
You know, the sheer number of those tracks that have just been vetted and proved, and, you know, with Chilcutt looking at the dermal ridges, to fake the fact that the dermal ridges go the opposite direction on primates than they do on humans, I didn't know that till they started talking about that with these footprints. So how many people would have to be involved in this for this to be? I mean, you're talking a global conspiracy. Is what
global.
Because
every continent.
Yeah, every continent has stories of these and sightings and footprints and things like that. There has to be a global conglomerate of, you know, Bigfoot hoaxers out there to keep this going. Just like getting back to the topic of our spot. First time we went up there, what did we find? Footprints. Didn't nobody know we were going to be up there.
Exactly.
So somebody just happened to think, Johnny and Robbie's going to be coming up here in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go up there barefooted and I'm going to put my toe in the side of that bank and just hope that they find it.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, everywhere, pretty much everybody carries when they're in the woods.
Yeah.
Just a little, you know, a little Glock on your hip or something similar. Snakes, wild dogs, they're an issue. But everybody's packing. You couldn't pay me enough to put on a monkey suit and go do some stupid, sketchy behavior up on the ridgeline.
Yeah.
Because Bubba would love to make the front page of the Greenville News. Look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, and what if Bubba's got something like we carry? That ain't going to feel good.
Well, either way, Bubba's going to jail and you're going underground. So it's just a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, I know this is a little bit off topic of our field research, but I think it kind of lends to where things are going now. If you look at the uptick in sightings, footprints, and things like that, I think that really coincides with how many people were actually, you know, we were out of the woods for what, almost 3 years when the Great Plague of the 21st century came through.
Yeah.
And you've watched those Discovery Channels and those movies and those documentaries about, you know, what happens. How long does it take nature to take back over a house or something that's nobody's around it? It don't take long.
Yeah.
It don't take animals long to move into areas. It don't take animals long to use the things that we leave out there, like houses, things like that. So if 3 years we're not in these common areas of these parks that we're at, and all of a sudden there we are again, these things have moved back in. That's a big reason why you're seeing a lot of these.
Yeah. Yeah. The uptick is, well, people aware, people paying attention more, getting back out, undisturbed areas, a little bit of everything. I mean, I think there's a lot of variables involved.
Yeah, I do too. And I just think that it's probably not going to be too long, because the government's already started doing soft disclosures on things. We know they're doing the soft disclosures on aliens. But, you know, we know for a fact that at one point in the Army Field Manual, Bigfoot was listed as an animal that you might possibly come across in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And that was back in the
Fort Lewis.
Yeah, that was back in the 70s and 80s. So they've been doing soft disclosures. That way, when something does happen, I'll see, we've been telling you.
Yeah.
You just didn't listen to us.
Trust the government.
Yeah. What's the scariest words ever spoken?
Yeah, Reagan.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Always a classic.
Uh,
But yeah.
anyhow, yeah. So as soon as it gets kind of off this weather that don't know what it's wanting to do, 70 on Friday, 30 this morning.
Yep. Supposed to get cold again Sunday.
Yeah, I know. But as soon as this weather clears up and we have some break in the rain and all that kind of stuff, we need to get back up there and start laying eyes on some things again. Because like I said, I don't think we've ever went up there and not found something interesting.
Maybe we leave the SOCOMs at home and we take flutes with us.
Yeah. Pied Piper.
Yeah. I'll get a pan flute and be like Zamfir.
Yeah. So, Tyler, when we get killed because we're up there with flutes and not our SOCOMs,
Annoying the wildlife.
you know where to come find us. Just make sure you come with the SOCOM so you can get us out of there. What's left of us, anyway, if there is anything left.
Yeah.
Here lies Johnny and Robbie. They were stupid. And Tyler said he'll make sure to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be Tyler will go into my house and get on the laser engraver and make us something to put out there. Like I said, here lies Johnny and Robbie. They were stupid.
That works for me.
All right, Johnny. Well, this was a quick little show tonight, but just to kind of, get us stupid as stupid does. Yeah, Forrest Gump.
That would definitely, yeah. Yeah, I look forward to it. Hope this weather breaks and we get a dry day or two.
And we still have our little secret that's getting closer and closer to coming together. I think we've got the other party that was going to come and do some certain things. He's 100% agreed to it now.
Okay.
So this is going to be a good one.
I can't wait. We'll have a good time.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, even if, I've already booked my room for it. I think Johnny's going to book his. So even if nobody else comes, me and Johnny may be out there. Tyler, you'll definitely have to come get us on that one probably because there's probably going to be...
You won't need near as big a bag.
No.
I don't think for this one.
No.
Maybe an ashtray.
Or I would say 1 gallon Ziploc bag might be good enough for both of us.
But don't leave my SOCOM in the woods. It'll rust.
Yeah, same here. And you and Kevin can fight over who gets the SOCOM and who gets the 5.56. Because I'm not going to be around, so.
Yeah.
Consolation prize, whoever gets the 5.56 can have the 308 bolt action. Tyler said finders keepers.
Yeah. Well, guess it's time to sharpen some steel.
Yep. All right. Well, folks, if you got anything you want us to look into, anything, stories you want us to tell, or anything like that, you can send us an email at what'sreallyoutthere2022@gmail.com. You can get us on Facebook at What's Really Out There in our Facebook group. The shows are aired on YouTube and Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. I couldn't think of that other one to say mine. I could see the little symbol, the little green circle with the little signal thing on it, but I just could not remember what that thing was. It sucks getting old, Johnny.
If they're going to send the smoke signals, make sure you update your firmware before, because
use cedar instead of pine. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, cedar. Yeah, that works. But do your updates.
Did you say firmware or fernware?
Firmware?
Okay, well, we're talking about smoke signals. I thought you meant update your firmware by throwing green stuff on there so it'd smoke a little bit more.
I'm trying to tech nerd over here, and you're killing my buzz.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I couldn't resist. Upgrade your firmware by using Cedar. You got to admit, that was pretty funny.
Didn't.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yes.
Anyway, you can also leave us a message on the YouTube channel. You can leave us messages on the audio. These are, we monitor these things all the time. Like Johnny said, he monitors the smoke signal, so he's watching the horizon. So if y'all got something you want us to look into, or want to shoot us a story or something like that, or even just say hey, give us something to say hey back to. And but other than that, you got anything else, Johnny?
Like 4 flat tires, I'm done.
Yeah, something like that. All right, folks. We'll see you next time.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.